Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Dubious Monk's Thought Portal, the YouTube channel where we discuss, among other things, including but not limited to, the esoteric, the paranormal, magic, sorcery, shamanism, UFOs, philosophy, and other topics adjacent to those. I am Nathan Doobie, and I will be your host. On today's episode, we will be discussing Hypersigils and Servitors. So without further ado, let's jump into today's topics. So, first things first. What is a hypersigil? A hypersigil is a form of narrative magic that is designed to take a fictional reality and manifest said reality in your life. Essentially, you want to create an avatar, a character who represents you in some form of story. It could be a book, it could be a poem, it could be a song, it could be any form of artwork. And generally speaking, with hypersigils, it's going to be a long form piece of content that is designed to manifest an incredible and major dream over the course of a period of time. Essentially, what you want to do is write a story with a character who is central to the tale. This character should be representative of you. In the story, the character should have a certain set of experiences that ultimately lead to the character achieving the goal that you wish to have happen in your own life. So whether you want to become an artist or world-famous actor, maybe you would like to raise money to buy a ship, to look for sunken treasure. Whatever it is, you want to create a story, and you want to put a lot of time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears into it. You want to take the character that is representative of you and have them move through those experiences that ultimately result in the character obtaining the goal, obtaining the dream, whatever that is. Once you have completed your story, or song, or poem, whatever it is, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a book. I'm going to use that as an example. So when I say a story, I would suggest writing a book because it's a long-form piece of content that will help you manifest your goals. And I can say that with some great authority because my Hypersigil, which is a fantasy novel called The Labyrinth of Dreams, has helped me to achieve the goal of my Hypersigil. And if you're interested in what that is, you'll just have to buy the book. That being said, if you're a subscriber, drop me a comment that you'd like to purchase a copy, and I will give you a coupon code to get it for 50% off. Anyhow, so once you have your story, and you feel that you have invested enough passion, blood, sweat, tears, joy, happiness, energy, and it has been imbued with enough energy that you feel that it is ready to begin the manifestation process, you then have to decide what you're going to do with your completed hypersigil. Now, some people are very private and they don't want people to know what their hypersigil is and they don't want to share it with others. That's totally understandable. Some of this stuff is going to be highly personal. Now, with that being said, if you want to manifest such a thing, it does help to have other people investing their energy, passion, joy, and emotions into the hypersigil because it will expedite the process. This is why many authors, artists, actors, musicians, and creatives create hypersigils and then release it as a form of artwork, whether it be a song on an album, whether it be a character they're portraying in a movie, or whether it be a poem that they're reading in public. When your hypersigil is shared with others and other people's consciousness imbues that hypersigil with their emotions, with their feelings, with their energy, it supercharges the hypersigil and will oftentimes result in the desire manifesting more quickly and more intensely. If, however, you're more of a secretive person and you don't want to take your hypersigil and share it with other people, particularly the public, one way that you could hypercharge it is to simply read it multiple times every day, maybe in the morning with your cup of coffee and maybe at night before you go to bed, maybe on your lunch hour. Think about the story, invest more energy, invest more imagination, visualize the events in the story coming true, visualize your avatar achieving the goal and getting the dream. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much hypersigils in a nutshell. Now, I've only covered the basics, and there's various ways to supercharge your hypersigils, and there are people who have had massively, intensely successful hypersigils that can speak to this at a level of expertise better than me. While I have achieved some pretty significant hypersigil success, I would point you to other magicians such as Alan Moore, Ramsey Dukes, and one of my personal favorites, Tommy Kelly of Adventures in Woo Woo, as all of them have discussed to some extent or another the manifestation of desires through hypersigils. So, with that being said, let's move on to topic number 2, which brings us to servitors. Okay, so what is a servitor? A servitor is a psychological complex or synthetic spirit that is created by the magician to achieve a specific goal. This could be something rather simple, such as ensuring the best parking spot at work every day, or perhaps saving money on your weekly groceries. It could also be something significantly more intense, such as the acquiring of a yacht, or maybe becoming a world famous athlete, whatever. The whole point of the servitor is that you are essentially creating your own spirit rather than working with, say, a demon, an angel, or an organic spirit, and using the spirit that you created to go out and provide a service to you or to help you to achieve a goal or acquire something that you desire to have. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you create a servitor? There's a lot of different answers to this question, and it's going to be slightly different depending upon which magician you ask. I'm going to tell you how I create servitors, and the reason why you might want to consider using my techniques is because I can prove that they've helped me to achieve acquiring the things that I wanted to get. So, when I create a servitor, I come up with a name for the spirit, or character, if you will. I write down all of its attributes. What does it look like? What is its gender? Uh, Maybe even what's its favorite band? What's its favorite color? And then also a description of what the servitor is designed to do, what it is meant to affect upon the universe, and how it is supposed to bring you the things that I desire. Now, when I create servitors, generally speaking, I put them in works of fiction, primarily hypersigils. For example, Julian Crane, which is the pen name that I wrote when working at disinfo.com for the 2 years that I was an occult journalist, writing the series Interview with the Magus. Now, Interview with the Magus eventually became a book that coincidentally is now available in paperback, in which I interviewed many of the world's greatest practicing magicians and asked them all essentially an identical set of questions so that you could compare the answers from each of them and draw your own conclusions about how and why magic works. Now, I created Julian Crane for various reasons. He's the avatar in my Hypersigil, A Labyrinth of Dreams. He represents me in a fictional universe that helped me to achieve specific goals in reality, in this actual universe, so to speak. Now, one of the things that I created Julian for was to help me to get the job at disinfo.com. I had been following Disinfo for quite a while after discovering Grant Morrison, who's another fantastic chaos magician, and if you haven't heard of him, I highly suggest looking into him. And quite frankly, after following the website for about 6 or 7 years, I decided I wanted to work the website. And part of the reason I created Julian Crane, which is a fictional character and avatar in my fantasy novel in Hypersigil, A Labyrinth of Dreams, was to help me get the gig. And ultimately I did. It also gave me the opportunity to write that book, which gave me the chance to interview some of the world's greatest practicing magicians. If you happen to be interested in obtaining a copy of Interview with the Magus, leave me a comment saying that you're interested, and I will leave you a coupon code for 50% off. But you have to remember to hit that subscribe button before doing so. Okay, back on topic. Let's do a quick recap of what a servitor is and what it is meant for. A servitor is a psychological complex or synthetic spirit that is created by a magician with the intent for the servitor to go out and to achieve a goal. That is either bringing a physical object, an experience, or some other desire that the magician wants or service completed on the behalf of the magician. To create a servitor, you want to give it a name, you want to draw a picture of it, you want to create a sigil for it. You want to write down a list of its attributes, including but not limited to perhaps hair color, eye color, gender, its likes, its dislikes, and most importantly, what the servitor was created for. Once you have done all this, it is now time to enliven, program, and send off your servitor to complete the service that you are asking it to render on your behalf. There are various ways to do this. However, I would point you to the work of Tommy Kelly and his 40 Servants Oracle deck and Chaos Magic system. The 40 Servants are a set of 40 servitors, very powerful servitors, particularly today, as over the past decade or so, they have been adopted by countless magicians the world over and have achieved many great things for practicing magicians in various parts of the world. So I would go to Adventures in Woo and just search the word servitor. You'll find a lot of great content that Tommy has produced, and we'll go deeper into these aspects. But once you have programmed, enlivened, and sent off your servitor, it is essentially a living synthetic spirit at this point. As far as the way that I go about doing this, I take the servitor that I've created and I put them in works of fiction, most of the times being hypersigils. For example, again, Julian Crane is both an avatar for me and also a servitor who was designed to accomplish various things. One was seeing the manifestation of the Hypersigil in A Labyrinth of Dreams, which is the fantasy novel and Hypersigil that I mentioned previously. Another was to get me the job at disinfo.com and to give me the opportunity to speak to all those incredible magicians and learn from them. And there are other purposes for that servitor. Now, I've created other servitors in a similar way. I've created video games, I'm a musician, and I've written characters into songs. And the way that I generally empower, program, and send my spirits off to do the work is by creating fictional characters, intending them to be servitors, going through the process previously mentioned, giving it attributes and programming as far as what it is to achieve, and then I put it in these works of fiction, whether it be a video game, a song, a poem, a book. I then publish this content and get it in front of as many people as possible. And the reason I do this is because when people consume a piece of my artwork, whether it be a fantasy novel, a video game, a poem, a song, their focus, intention, and consuming of that media empowers those servitors. And once they are empowered, they are automatically programmed to go off and achieve the things that I have told them that I ultimately want them to do for me. This is a little left of center, and I haven't given all the details and secrets about properly programming servitors. I have told you essentially how I do it, but if you're interested in learning more, hit that subscribe button and shoot me a message, and perhaps we can talk on a deeper level. As the Bible says, don't cast your pearls before swine, and a big part of occultism is silence to some extent. So if you do want to learn more deeper aspects of Hypersigil and servitor creation, hit me up and I can either send you to the proper resources and magicians who have the answers you need, or if I have them, I can help you on your path as well. With that being said, I appreciate you tuning in today, and I hope you guys have a great day. But until next time, peace.